So on the 7th day of November, this is the official detailed information of everything that happened about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at the Federal High Court in Abuja. So in this video, we are going to break down everything that happened that day in full details. Alright, so firstly, we are going to talk about or reveal people that were present in the court that day. So first, we have the judge, the presiding judge, over by Justice James Omotosho. He was present that very day. And secondly, we have the prosecuting judge in the person of Adegboyega Awomolu. Alright, he was present. And thirdly, the defensive lawyer in the person of Aloy Ejim Ako and as well as Maxwell Okpara. They were all present that very day, which was 7th day of November. So now, how did the whole thing happen? How did the whole thing go? We are going to start from the beginning. Before this court section, which was on 7th day of November, everyone already knew that Nnamdi Kanu had chosen to defend himself, meaning he would stand as his own lawyer and attorney. What does this mean? It means that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be standing as his own lawyer and attorney. So let's take us a day back on November 6th. All right, I want us to understand something. That is the reason why I said I am going to give you a full details of everything that happened on the 7th day of November. Do you understand? So let's take us a day back. So we're going to grab some certain things before the court day. So on the November 6th, which was a day before the court sitting, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tried to get some important documents that were necessary and very important for his defense. He reached out to DSS inside the facilities, asking for access to those documents, those papers, but they refused. Now, here is what Kanu tweeted on the same day, which was on 6th of November. I hope you're paying attention to this. So from the statement, he said, DSS obstruction may force Mazi Nnamdi Kanu absence from court. Family warns. The family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, wishes to inform the public and the international community that the Department of State Service, DSS, is deliberately stopping him from preparing his defense in court. In the last few days, the DSS has made it almost impossible for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to have proper access to his lawyers, family members, and key witness. The DSS has also refused to allow him to file the court document he needs for his case coming up on 7th day of November, which is on Friday. Because of these actions, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu may not be able to appear in court on Friday, not because he does not want to, but because he has been denied the chance to get ready and defend himself. Hope you're paying attention. So he went further and said, these actions are against the Nigerian Constitution and basic human rights. Every accused person has the right to facilities to help him prepare adequately and to interact freely with their lawyers, family, witness, prepare for the court and defend themselves. But the DSS is stopping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from doing so. This is not justice. This is coming from Kanu. He made this tweet on the 6th day of November, just a day before this court sitting. So the whole article went on and on, but the point is here, as someone that is representing himself, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu needed to be equipped and get the necessary files before he can step into the court for his defense. But according to reports, the DSS denied him that access. Now, moving on the 7th day of November, which is the court day, about 8:50 to 8:51, a video was released by Kanu. So when you look closely to the video, you will notice that the judge was not seated, the prosecutor was not there, and Nnamdi Kanu was yet to be brought into the court section as of that time. So moving forward, you will see Michael Okpara, that was supposed to be a defensive lawyer to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is now dressed like an observer, not as a lawyer anymore because he has been stripped of right to represent Nnamdi Kanu. He is now seen only as a consultant. And he's just a water. So this video was released by Kanu and he was there in person about 8:51 a.m. So the court officially began by 9:33 a.m. on that 7th day of November. And when Kanu was brought in, the judge and prosecutors were already settled, meaning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had very little time to consult with his legal advisors. Around that time, Aloy Ejim Ako, one of the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu defensive lawyer, alright, he was supposed to be his defensive lawyer, but he has been stripped of the right to be so. So he made a post saying, the matter of Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been convened. All right, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has arrived. The judge is in sitting. Onyendu's brave in council are also assembled. So this tweet is coming from one of the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu defensive lawyer, Aloy Ejim Ako. All right, he was supposed to be his lawyer, defensive lawyer, but they have been, like I said earlier, they stripped off his right to be so. And all right, moving on, we also saw a video of when Nnamdi Kanu arrived in court, as you can see. But the video is all about, we are going to break it down. All right, just pay attention. So the court section kicked off in essence, and the presiding judge asked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, "Are you ready to choose between the opt-in to defend your case, or we stripped you of the right to do so?" So Nnamdi Kanu replied and said, "I am still on my conviction. All right. Before I can make any decision, you must show me the part of constitution I have violated." That was what Nnamdi Kanu replied to him. So the whole back and forth continued until around 10:40 a.m. And when another update comes in saying that Nnamdi Kanu has officially begun his defense, that he has chosen to open his defense. And this is coming from TVC News saying Nnamdi Kanu has finally begun his defense case. So according to the report, it says Nnamdi Kanu has finally complied with the Federal High Court in Abuja order to open his defense in the terrorism charge brought against him by the federal government. Kanu, who had previously resisted proceeding with his defense, began filing his documents on Friday directly in the courtroom following instructions from Justice James Omotosho. Remember, he wasn't allowed to file his documents the previous day at the DSS facility. Alright, I hope you are paying attention. Now, like this video for me. Alright, let's continue. For the first time in a while, Justice Omotosho did something that shocked everyone, something that looked fair. He paused the hearing and gave Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 1 hour to complete his filing. According to the report, Kanu, who had previously resisted proceeding with his defense, began filing his documents on Friday directly inside the courtroom following instructions from Justice Omotosho. The judge had earlier directed the court registry to temporarily move into the courtroom to accommodate Kanu's complaint and ensure he completes his filing process without further delay. Now, at the time of reporting, Kanu was still in the process of submitting his documents. Justice Omotosho temporarily adjourned the proceeding for 1 hour to allow his filing continue uninterrupted. Before then, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has consistently refused to open his defense, insisting that the prosecution first clarify which specific terrorism law he was alleged to have breached before he could respond. So within that 1 hour, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tried to gather all the necessary and every single important document he could, but looking at how things is going, or looking at how things was going, I think it was too much for only him to handle. So after the break, the court reconvened and the judge asked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, "Have you filed everything now and are you ready?" Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said no, that 1 hour wasn't enough to do all those things, that the DSS stopped him from doing this the previous day when he was mentally prepared. But then again, the judge refused and said, either you file it now or we remove your right to do so, because it feels like you're wasting our time. Enough time have been given to you, but you choose not to. So Nnamdi Kanu said, no, I did not try to waste your time. If anybody is wasting my time, it is you people that is wasting my time. So therefore, I need more time. Give me more time so I can be able to sit down and collect every necessary document need for my filing. The justice, on the other hand, said, your time is up. So what does this mean? It means the judge has officially stripped off Kanu's right to defend himself. And that means he can no longer present his own case. So his right to defend himself has been stripped off. And when Nnamdi Kanu wanted to go into the defense, the DSS prevented him. And this means they delayed him in everything, in all manners, in all capabilities. But wait, is that a justice? So moving forward, not too long ago, Kanu Takanu published a post. And he said, we are going to read it one after the other. Alright? So it said, today's epic battle between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Justice James Omotosho at Abuja Federal High Court, issued by Onyedikachi Ifedi, reporting from a test courtroom. Now, the first one said, overview of today's shocking court development. The electrifying proceedings in the case of Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before Justice James Omotosho took a disturbing turn today, raising serious public concern over the integrity of judicial process. Multiple actions and pronouncements made by the presiding judge have been widely described as unprecedented hostile to fair hearing, and blatantly contrary to constitutional standard of criminal trial. Secondly, judge unable to state the law under which Kanu is being tried. In open court today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu demanded repeatedly that Justice Omotosho identify specific written law under which he has been tried. Your understanding. So moving forward, he says, despite multiple direct requests, Justice Omotosho could not cite any written law creating the alleged offense. Instead of addressing this foundational constitutional requirement, the judge evaded the question. All right, and for the avoidance of doubt, Section 3612 in bracket of the 1999 Constitution as demanded provides, a person shall not be convicted of a criminal offense unless the offense is defined, and the penalty therefore is prescribed in a written law. All right. So the third one says judge failed to acknowledge the use of repealed law. Kanu moved a formal motion to expunge his plea from the court record on the grounds that the charge was found on a repealed law. The fourth one says Omotosho blocked final written addresses, a disturbing first in Nigeria criminal trial history. So moving forward to the fifth, it says Kanu's final word to the judge today. In response to the judge position, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told the court that he does not care what Justice Omotosho says because the Constitution is supreme. He stated clearly that Section 36(12) SFRN forbids any conviction without a valid written law, that no court can override the Constitution. The sixth one says public concern and implication. Today's proceeding gave question why is a judge avoiding reference to the law that he claims to be applying? Right? Why refuse written address unless the goal is to avoid legal, scrutiny? And in conclusion, what transpired today in court is not a normal jurisdictional process. The actions and statements of Justice James Omotosho reflect a troubling pattern of procedural irregularities, disregard for constitutional safeguard, and hostility to fair hearing. So this was what Kanu Kanu reacted and tweeted. Immediately all those things happened. So soon after, a news headline dropped and it says, breaking, court set November 20th for judgment as Nnamdi Kanu forfeits right to defend in terrorism trial. And going further, it says the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed November 20th, 2025 for the judgment in the terrorism case filed by the federal government against the detained leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So now, as it stands now, court has stripped off Nnamdi Kanu's right to defend himself, meaning they will be going to judgment straight, which is on 20th of November. So therefore, on 20th, according to the headline, on 20th, the judgment will be passed to him. Moving on, it says, Kanu, who has been in the custody of Department of State Service since his arrest and extradition to Nigeria in 2021, faces charges bordering on terrorism, treasonable felony, and incitement against the Nigerian state. The court is expected to deliver its ruling on November 20th, determining whether Kanu is guilty of the alleged offenses or will be acquitted. Alright, so this is all that happened on the 6th, 7th, and interestingly, the lawyer Ejim Ako, alright, has wrote to the USA and told them everything that has been happening on the 8th of November. He did that on the 8th of November. So this is all that happened between the 6th, 7th, and 8th of November. So according to the report, it says the court has set November 20th, in which they will pass a judge to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But we'll pray so that it won't turn out to be very bad news on that 20th. So this is all that happened that very day, and we are going to give you guys more information on what is still going on about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the court, the Federal High Court, Abuja. All right, thank you so much for watching, and like the video.